Once again, welcome here in this online session. Hope so you all are safe and healthy at home and following all the safety guidelines. Well, today's topic is taxonomical aid. This topic is related to the 11th class biology chapter 1. So let's start this particular topic. This topic, taxonomical aid, it is going to form with two words, taxonomical as well as the aid. This word aids, it is going to play a vital role here in formation of the taxonomical aids. Aid is what? It is help. Means any help we are going to provide in the field of the taxonomy, in the field of this taxonomical. So what? This particular help is known as taxonomical aids. This aid is either on the basis of the living organisms or on the basis of the dead organisms. So what is taxonomical aid? It is collection of samples which help in extensive research for the identification of various taxonomical hierarchy. Taxonomical hierarchy, these are related to the unknown species. Means one unknown species, suppose we got. So in the field of the biology, we have to provide a specific kingdom, specific phylum to that particular unknown species. So this taxonomical aid is going to play a vital role here to provide the taxonomical hierarchy to that particular unknown species. Well, this is helpful in classifying organisms into various categories. These various categories are genus, species, class, order, phylum, etc. Example. Suppose any unknown species is there. So how these taxonomical aids are helpful here to predict about the unknown species? These taxonomical aids are helpful in the prediction of unknown species. Which kind of the prediction? About the class, about the phylum, about whole taxonomical hierarchy. One more thing is present here. If suppose you got unknown species, so the prediction, it will be based on the either it is going to based on the living organism or it is going to based on the dead organisms. Okay, so first is what? If unknown organism is a plant and we are going to predict about this particular unknown organisms on the basis of the dead organisms. So first aid means this first taxonomical aid, which is going to divide this taxonomical aid, which is going to divide here on the basis of the living and dead organism. So now this aid, which is going to focus on the dead organism, we are focusing here. So herbarium is an example of dead aid. What happened here? This unknown sample is present, unknown species is here. So by comparison with the earlier existed organisms which are now present, which are now preserved in dead form in herbarium, so on the basis of that organism we are going to predict about the unknown sample. So what we'll do? If unknown sample is there, so just go to the herbarium and match with the various plants on the basis of the morphological features. So we can predict. Suppose we got a plant which is very much similar to our unknown plant. So we can predict about this unknown sample on the basis of the known samples which are present here in the herbarium. So one more question is coming in a short note in the examination, that write down something about the herbarium. So what is herbarium? It's a place where plants are collected in dried and pasted on sheets. Means all the plants and plants are collected here. First they are drying and they are pasted on sheet. Means here the collection of various sheets are present here. So which kind of the sheets are there, how they are giving the information, and which kind of the information is present here in the herbarium sheet. Let's just focus on this particular point. This is a herbarium sheet. Okay, it's not an actual herbarium sheet. The actual herbarium sheet, it looks like this sheet, and this useful information is present here in the original herbarium sheet. So what happened in the herbarium sheet? Here one plant is here. Okay, so this plant I got very near to my home. So what this plant, as scientists, they are collecting the plants and pasting, and they are pasting the plant on the sheet and collecting there in a herbarium. So what happened in the herbarium sheet? What kind of the information is present in the herbarium sheet? First is what? Plant dried and pasted. Okay, this plant I dried and keep it here. But in herbarium sheet, it is going to paste it with the sellotape. So which information must be there in the herbarium sheet? Date of collection. It must be there on herbarium sheet. Place of collection, from where you are collecting. So it must also be there in the sheet. Next, the local English as well as the botanical name must be there on the herbarium sheet. And lastly, the name of collector will be there in the sheet. So these are few very short question type of the keywords which are explained here. What is herbarium sheet? What is herbarium? Well, next is what? Next comparison, we are focusing on the on the dead organism, with comparison with the dead organism. Which is what? Which is the second one? It's a museum. Plants and animals both are present in dead form. Okay, so where they are present? They are present in museum. In museum, plants are also present. In museum, animals are also present. So how they are preserving the plants as well as the animals in the museum? So what is preservation? Preservation is what? What we'll do? First, dried and preserved. And second is what? Specimen is preserved in the jars with formaldehyde. Okay, so preservation, if it is a plant, then what happen? It will be dried and preserved. But if it is an animal, so what will happen? We will preserve the animal in a specific jar that is known as a specimen jar. And this is a specimen, and this is what? It is the formaldehyde. Next topic.